Hello, hello. Okay. I've said this before. Man, this takes forever to actually make me live. There we go. How is everyone? How are we on this fabulous, what day is it? Tuesday. It's fabulous Tuesday evening. I'm in the midst of painting my nails. I'm painting my nails because I won't have time to do it later. Hello. There's beautiful bestie. Helen, Mel, Summer, Carrie, Cheryl, Zia, Lainey, Darcy, Gina Moringa, Krista, Amy Q, Alice, Gracie, just plain old manifestation buddy, Happy Panda, Joy, Blanford, Josie, hello. Hello. Let's see. I have roughly 30-ish minutes. I had to reschedule. So I'm like, I'm going to go live. Yay. Yes, Lainey, I have tried Mooncat polish. I have. And I enjoy it very much. Actually, one of the fellow HBICs gave me a gift card so that I could purchase some moon polish because up until that point, I'd never heard of them. And which I was very grateful. That was very, very kind. To be honest, this particular HBIC spoils the shit out of me. But yes, and I very much liked their products. Very much so. Yeah, Joy. Yeah, that's right. You and I and a few others are going to hang out multiple times today. Did you do your homework? Huh? Did you do your homework? It's okay if you didn't, because I'm clearly going to be breaking this shit down, so don't worry. Manifestation buddy, you need to be my new best friend because you can compliment that anytime you want. Thank you very much. You want to know the truth, though? I have thrown out's a big word, packaged up and put away all of my skincare stuff, and I'm using oil. I saw it on Instagram, this Instagram channel I watch, and she was, this has nothing to do with manifestation, so probably some people are going to get annoyed, but started talking about using castor oil with frankincense. Only at night. This girl that I was watching, she does it twice a day. I'm like, nah, I'm not putting oil on my face twice a day. That's not going to happen. But I've been doing it for the last several weeks, only at night, and I'm noticing some difference. I am, right? We're not completely erased, but some differences. So there's something to this castor oil. You know what I mean? All right, I'll shut up. I'll get to manifestation stuff. I'll put it on my other channel. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Give me one. What is going on here? Hold on. I'm having a difficulty. What is going on here? Hold on. I see the super chats. I'm trying to get back in here. What the? See them. No, that's, oh, there we are. Okay, hold on. I'm here. Well, I never left you guys. Sorry. On this end, I lost everything. Here we go. Okay. Happy Panda. Thank you very much. Hey, Kim. Do you need a routine to manifest, or can you just affirm any old time, like when you're making a sandwich? I love that was your question. Like when you're making a sandwich. Ritual necessary. Thank you. Well, first of all, Happy Panda, you are welcome. Second of all, thank you so much for the super chat. Third of all, no. No. Now, as far as saying, manifestation routine, or like I like to say, manifestation game, is it helpful to be in a routine so that you are remembering your decision? Well, sure, right? There's positive things to it. But when a routine starts to feel like a part-time job, we are approaching this incorrectly. So no, it's not that it's necessary. Okay? If you are someone that can just easily remind yourself or easily be in the awareness of who you're choosing to be, then you don't need to adhere to anything, right? The key to manifestation, truthfully, is the who you are being, where you're placing your awareness, right? Think of your awareness as your eyeballs. It's where you are deciding to believe who you are. And listen, as far as belief goes, that's a separate conversation, as in it's quite normal to not believe anything you're saying to yourself, right? Or the decision you're making or where you're placing your awareness. It's normal to not believe. However, whenever you are using your imagination, and hopefully you are using it with the decision of, I don't think of my imagination as just a fantasy place anymore, right? We want to make that decision because most of us have been conditioned. Man, I can rant on this. I could take this everywhere. The key to manifestation is where your awareness is, what you are or who you are aware of being. So the idea is to put your awareness on what you want, on being the you that has what you want. Because who you truly are at your core is pure, unadulterated consciousness, aka God, universe, whatever feels good to you. But that's who you are. You are a part of what has created all. You're a part of that. That's who you are, like I said, at the core. That's your true nature, your true self. So if you find it easy to be in the awareness of having your desire, or at minimum, knowing you will have it, knowing you're in the reality where it is unfolding in front of you, you're good. You don't need to have a strict, setup or a strict structured routine if that's not the kind of person you are aware of being. I am someone who doesn't always resonate with strict structure. It's just not my personality. It's not who I am choosing to be. So I don't like that. And the minute I feel like I have to, like, oh, it's time to affirm, it's noon, I got to affirm at noon, I find that restrictive. That to me is a part-time job that I'm not looking for, where it's just easier for me to be living my day, like you said, making a sandwich and being aware of who I'm choosing to be. That's easy to me. Hence why that's what I do. That's my manifestation game, making a decision. So again, no, it's not necessarily necessary. The beauty of this is we're individuals and we are making this an individual experience. So how we feel individually about manifestation, like what we think works and doesn't work, it only matters to the individual, right? So you might hear someone else who makes videos say to you that you need to have a routine, and probably there should be a comma after that statement, depending on who you are. We're not all alike, right? So for example, there are people out there who love to robotically affirm. That's their thing. That feels good to them. I don't like it. I can't be bothered with that. That feels like work to me. I just want to make a decision and go about my day. So neither one of us is wrong, right? We're both right, because what matters is what I believe, what I feel. That's what's going to work for me. And the person who likes robotic affirming, that will work for them. It's choice. When you first find manifestation, it is very easy to get, sucked in to that feeling of, this is something brand new to me. When in reality, no, it's not. You've been manifesting your whole life. What's new to this is that now you're consciously doing it. You're aware of what your mind is doing, right? You're aware of your awareness as consciousness. You're aware, but you've been doing it, and you were doing it your whole life without necessarily a strict, structured routine. So this is why there's so many different techniques out there, because there's a lot of beings. There's a lot of beings out in this world who have chosen to come here with certain personalities, likes and dislikes. So no one's ever really wrong. So if the sound of you having a strict routine doesn't feel good, then don't do it. Don't do it. Do what feels good. That's what matters. Okay? Let's see. Janet Carson, thank you very much. What's your thoughts on Neville's relief state? Well, again, I've said this before. First of all, I can agree with his view or perspective on that. This kind of ties in with what I was just saying. Like, you will often hear me refer to Neville Goddard because I enjoy Neville Goddard's teachings, his books, hearing his lectures. I enjoy that. But I'm aware of who Neville is. Neville is another human, just like I am, just like you are. So there are some things that Neville have discussed in the past that I don't agree with, and I don't do, and I manifest perfectly fine. That's the beauty of this. Neville was always teaching from his personal experiences, his personal perspective. Now, I see a benefit in most of the time when we're manifesting, no matter what we're manifesting, we're really reaching for a feeling of safety, security, right? Let's say you're manifesting a specific person. Most of us in manifesting in that direction, when we want to manifest a specific person, man, I just totally talked in circles there. Sorry. When we're manifesting a specific person, well, yeah, we want to feel love. We know that. But what does that actually boil down to? We want to feel safe. We want to feel secure. We want to feel relief that we have our person and that person mutually feels the same way about us. So that's kind of the go-to when you want to manifest money. Well, why do we want the money? To feel safe and secure, to feel relieved. So when you're struggling to get your mind around having your desire, going to that state, allowing yourself to feel relieved, to feel safe, to feel secure, that can only benefit you. Do you see what I mean? And that's me kind of kimming that down, per se. But I don't disagree with it. This is why I say, as far as like techniques go, all techniques are good if you are aware that all the technique is doing is trying to get you to use your imagination, to move your awareness eyeballs onto the you or the state of you having your desire. So I can see its benefits, yes, for sure. I hope that answered your question. Limitless Queen Betch, thank you very much. Betch, I'm so happy of my decision to manifest a new SP. I also feel completely new version. I cannot be more happy and proud of you. Can I just say that? I am so happy. I love that you are openly sharing that decision, because ironically, this kind of a conversation came up in one of my coaching calls today, that, when you're brand new to manifestation, hearing someone has made a decision to manifest someone different from original SP, there's some judgment and then there's fear around that idea. Because someone who's brand new and doesn't have a strong foundation of manifestation, that fear comes in, like, they couldn't manifest their SP1, so that's why. That's why. So what if this doesn't work? Where I love that you're sharing this, because it's not about that she couldn't manifest SP1. She has manifested SP1. She has. He has come in on multiple occasions. But she's just not that into it anymore. People can change their fucking mind. And Limitless Queen Betch and I have spoke. We both know that SP1 ain't going anywhere. He's gonna keep coming in. He's gonna keep showing up. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there has been contact on more than one occasion. It's just she's changed her mind. She's made a new decision. She's a different self. Her manifestation didn't fail. Do you see what I'm trying to say? There's so much judgment around it, and there shouldn't be. Because if you're hearing someone has changed their fucking mind, that doesn't always mean that they're changing their mind from giving up on a manifestation. SP1 in her reality has shown up more than once, comfortably more than once. It's not about that. She's just decided, yeah, I just don't think I'm into that anymore. That is okay. We are allowed to change our damn minds. And I'll tell you, I'll put this out in blast. I've said it before. If I ever decide I'm not into SP, I'm out. I'm out. There would have to be something, I don't know how to word this politely, but I'm very sassy about my 3D life, as in I'm going to have what I want whenever I want. That's who I am. And I know that kind of sounds shitty, but I don't mean it in a shitty way. I mean it in a loving way that I'm not going to feel like efforting ever again, because I prefer to be detached from 3D. But if suddenly I'm not feeling like SP is all that sexy anymore, if I'm not 100% into that package, I'm going to move on. I'm going to manifest somebody different. I'm not going to stay where I'm not fulfilled. Now, granted, I'm not talking on how SP is showing up, because I can change anything I want. And you all know you can do the same thing, but sometimes you just don't fucking feel like it. And so I'm saying all of that because I've had multiple people come to me just wanting to change their mind. They're just into somebody else, but they feel like they can't because that might look like a failure. That's not a failure. It's called changing your fucking mind. And this is the land of freedom over here. Land of freedom. The only time I think that we need to look into why you're deciding not to manifest the original SP is when you know it's because you're doing it out of fear. Well, then, because we need to address that fear, because you're going to have the same experience with SP2 if you don't address the fear. That's when we want to look at it, but it's still not judgment. This is freedom. You can manifest whatever you want. You should never worry about being judged that somebody else is going to poo-poo on what you're manifesting. It's nobody else's fucking business, truthfully. Right? Do we agree on this? It's nobody's business what you're manifesting. But I'm very happy for you, Limitless Queen Betch. And you came in and you shared it confidently. And I love that, because that is evidence to me. You are in new self. You're there. You're there. Very proud of you. Very proud. Let's see. Fame with Tiffany Renee. Makes me think of that song Fame by Irene Cara, Hi, can you talk about how we are God? I still feel uneasy. Okay, do you feel uneasy because of like religious background? Is there a religious reason why, you feel like you're talking against your belief system? And if so, listen, I understand. I was raised Catholic, and no offense to Catholics, I'm clearly not a Catholic anymore, but that's what I was raised on. And my family wasn't strict about it either, but that's all I knew was the Catholic religion. And hearing, and for me, it was reading, one of Neville's books, reading that we are God felt blasphemous to me. It felt blasphemous. Like, how dare I? I'm not supposed to say stuff like that. That's against the religion. No, that's man's interpretation of religion. So, like, the Bible can still apply to us. Of course it does. It's telling us how to work with our mind, how to conquer the mind, per se, for lack of a better way saying that. So the way I see this, and my opinion is based off of, experience and my own experiences and working with other people, helping other people get their manifestations. In the scheme of things, if it's still a struggle for you to buy into the concept that you are God having a human experience, I get that. Over time, through your own experience, I think that that will become more clear for you. It's not something to stress in in the beginnings. So if you feel a conflict thinking that, well, that's fine. Then let's look at it from the perspective of, we know that there is that phrase, and of course, this is not a great or direct quote, but we were made in God's image, right? So try to look at it from that perspective. You were made in God's image. You are God's child. And I don't know if you're personally a parent or not, but can't you see that if you were, and if you are, don't you want the best for your child? Don't you want your own child to be happy? So wouldn't you expect, a good parent to want the best for their child? So maybe you can entertain it from that perspective. Maybe that'll feel a little less resistive. Okay. But again, like what I was saying is, if you're not 100% convinced of that you are God having a human experience, that's okay. It's not going to stop you from manifesting. It clearly hasn't stopped you from manifesting. You've been manifesting since you've gotten here. There are some people in this community who don't believe in a God. They believe strictly universe. Hence why you hear me say in videos, whether you believe it's, God, universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams, whatever it is you individually think is the absolute, fine. What matters is, I think, is your coming to the acceptance of you being, at minimum, consciousness. That your consciousness having an experience, your consciousness projecting out into into reality around you. I think it's important to accept that. And I say that, like, the easiest way to help solidify that is test it yourself. Test it yourself. This is not the word for word, but I know Joseph Ally at one time talked about this, and somebody else brought it up to me, and I cannot remember who said it. So, we all know my memory. I haven't manifested. I'm lazy. It's not like I tell myself I have a great memory. I don't, because I don't care. But I know this came from Joseph Ally, that, first thing in the morning, write down 7 things. If you want to do 5, fine. But write down 7 things that pop into your mind. Don't overthink it. Just write down what things pop in your mind. And then, like a week from now, come back and see if you saw those things that you listed in your reality. It's like doing little, what's the word? Not exercises, but challenges. Doing little challenges like that where you can see and get your own evidence that you are manifesting your reality. That builds the faith, and that makes the stepping into the belief of who you really are a little bit easier and a little bit easier. But don't stress it right now. Don't stress it. Like I said, this will come with time. It wasn't easy for me to 100% accept the God thing because of how, what I was raised with, that belief that there was a separate God, not within me, separate completely. Gandalf on the mountain God. This is a whole new world when you think of it. This awakening, this knowledge, it's a whole new world. So you be easier on yourself. Be easy. As I said, the more experience you have with manifestation, the easier the concepts get, and the more evidence you get in reality of who you are. But take the word God out of the equation and insert consciousness and put the focus there. That might help not feeling so resistive. ECC5, thank you very much. I believe we are in control of our reality. We are that powerful. But how do we let go of fear of things that feel like we have no control? Such as big world events. Do we have control? Part 2. Can we remove big world things from our reality by removing awareness? Just the same as removing little non-important things? Yes. And I know that sounds super controversial, but yes. Where your awareness is what? Is your reality. Well, when you're not aware of something, when your focus isn't on it, all right, what actual proof do you have of its existence? Just because we're having an experience, this is what, I think will help is when you think of reality being your own personal soap opera with all sorts of characters and storylines. So your reality is your own personal soap opera, meaning your perspective, your view of it. If you yourself are asking that question because you're troubling yourself, feeling like you were being selfish to manifest for yourself, you should be manifesting to solve all the world's problems. Don't get me wrong, I think that's sweet, but that's a lot of pressure to put on one individual's shoulders. And if if you're not really buying into the who you are, that's certainly going to put the weight on you, as well as making you feel really alone. Do you see what I mean? When you're not watching me on YouTube, from your perspective, okay? When you're not watching me, where do I go? Where do I go? Do you see what I'm saying? Wherever you are right now, if you're not at home, does your home actually exist? Outside of memory, does it exist? Or does it reform once you move your awareness back to it? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Is that making sense? My boyfriend's at work. He's on his way home. But he's been at work all day. I have not physically seen him all day. Did he really go to work? Or am I manifesting the experience of thinking he's going to work? Does he still exist? Do people still exist outside of your awareness? What do you think happens? I believe we are sincerely, truly manifesting our world around us. But at the same time, I don't think it's my fault that in my world, in my awareness, the reality around me, that there are really yucky things happening in other countries, which is heartbreaking, but I don't blame myself for it. Meaning I don't claim that it's my fault it's manifesting. I don't. And I'm hoping that's not something you're doing. Do you see what I mean? And if you notice, I'm not giving you 100% of a bottom line answer, because what you believe to be true will be true. What I believe to be true will be true for me. But what I believe to be true, if that doesn't jive with you, then you won't have the experience. If anything, you'll have the experience of it not being true. Do you see what I'm saying? What matters is you making that decision. What do you think happens when something's not in your face? When it is not in this awareness in front of you, in reality, right around you? Is life still just continuing on and happening? Or does it disappear? What do you believe? Yes, Lisa, 100% agree. You can remove people from your awareness. Yes, you can. They're still a being. They're still a human. Maybe this will help. Thinking about world events, okay? Some of them are tragic and terrible, but they're still infinite realities. And there's a reality where those terrible things aren't happening. I believe that. I believe there are infinite realities. I believe there are infinite versions of myself, of you, of my specific person, of poop. I believe that. So I choose to put my focus as best as possible on it being a peaceful world, a happy world, an unconditional love-filled world. I prefer that reality, but all realities exist. I hope that makes sense. Come to Brazil. I would love to come to Brazil. I've always wanted to go to Brazil. Always. I just don't want to feel fear over that stuff anymore. So I'm constantly telling myself everything is fine. My world is positive and perfect no matter what. And I purposely avoid the negative. Remember that fearful thoughts can be there. A fearful thought popping into your mind does not imply it will immediately manifest or that you're automatically back to that world or that reality. It doesn't mean that. You are not in control of what thoughts pop into your mind. You are in control what you do with those thoughts, what power you give them. So when fearful thoughts come in, if you're responding like you just wrote there, that's good. But you don't have to be afraid of the thoughts coming in. I think everybody needs that reminder. Not every individual thought manifests. They really don't. It's our state, our version of self that does. So bear in mind, if you have a belief that, and it can be anything. If you have a belief that this thing is possible, that fear is possible, that can happen. Well, then it may show up in your reality. But you get to choose differently if you want to, and you instantly go to that reality. It may appear like nothing's changed, but it has. It has. So try not to concern yourself with the thoughts that pop in. Concern yourself with the decision you're making instead of putting the universe's problem on your shoulder. And because we don't even have to look at it that way. If we could put our focus on the life we do want, or the planet we want to be on, the peaceful, happy planet, the more your focus is there, the more evidence you're going to see of it. But there are still other beings in the universe, their versions of self. So things may still exist, right? Every possible outcome, or I like to say like every possible answer to any question exists. There's nothing really to ever be afraid of. Our job is to just return our focus to the place we want to be. I hope that helped. Can I just bless? Yes, of course you can. I manifested marriage and a new place to live. Congratulations, Courtney. Look at you being a master manifester. Angel Summer, thank you very much. Feeling down today, to be honest, missing my SP. Okay. You're having a down day. Does that have to mean that you are not your new self? Does having a feeling, an emotion, does that imply you're not new self? And if you think it does, you need to make a new decision. You are a human being. You're still going to have human feelings and emotions. We have to stop equating the feeling of, we'll say sadness. We'll use sadness today, okay? The feeling of sadness, we don't have to rule out that there's no way you could be in the state of the wish fulfilled if you're sad. Well, who said? Because every single feeling and emotion is available to all states of consciousness. But that's a logical way of, or reasoning. That's a logical response. I couldn't possibly be sad and be in the wish fulfilled. Well, no, you're saying that. You're choosing that. Now, granted, I know you didn't say that, but I'm using that as the example. Does that make sense? That's why you have to be the one to give yourself permission that it's okay you're feeling down today. It's okay that you miss SP. But your intention is still to be new self, to still be the you that is aware of being in the reality where you will have your relationship. You'll have that love because you already have it. Your SP isn't gone. You're not separate from SP. You're not separate from reality. You are reality. So return to your decision. Have a little cry. Get it out of your system. Right? Tears are a release party. And choose yourself. You know what? This also came up in a call today, and I'm just being reminded of it. And I can't take the credit for it. However, I don't know if this person wants me to say their name. So I'm just saying they said this. You realize how in videos I will say, stand in your conviction of being new self. Standing in conviction that you refuse to be old self. Most don't. Most people stand in conviction of being their old self. Think about that. Think about the comments we see in videos. Think about how sometimes this chat looks, where people are saying all the things that they don't like that are happening in their reality right now. I'm going to make one up. Let's pretend someone's here talking about their SP and they're listing all of the things that SP is doing. What are they in conviction of? They're in conviction of not having what they want. That is not conviction of new self. That is completely and utterly giving in to the victim state and not being aware that it is that state. That's what's happening. And that's a lot of people's journey. And I know that sucks. And I will tell you, that was my journey in the beginning. That's who I was the first year or more. I was in a victim state. And I would consistently focus on all the things that weren't happening, what I didn't like, and I would feed into that every day, literally every day. And then be frustrated because I wasn't seeing the exact movement I wanted in 3D. I was standing in conviction of my old self. So anybody watching, ask yourself, what are you really standing in conviction of? That you are your new self? Or are you focused on what is not happening? What doesn't seem to be right? Now, listen, that's not my way of saying don't ask me a question. I don't mean that. I'm saying, but just be authentic with yourself. What are you really thinking? Where are you really focused? Right? The conviction can come through tears. That is okay. It's okay to have a shitty day. It doesn't have to mean we've thrown our decision to be new self. If anybody's new here, new self, all I'm referring to, new self is the state of you having your desire. So it's easy for me to call it new self. I'm like new self, new reality. Think about that. Who are you in conviction of? Because it matters. The decision we make matters. The emotions we're having, the feelings we're having. I know it doesn't sound very nice to say that they don't matter. They do. Our feelings are valid. But we don't have to throw our hands up and decide I have failed. I am out of the wish fulfilled because I cried today. No. I can have a cry and still be new self. Your consciousness, your pure, unadulterated consciousness, infinite versions of you exist. You're in charge of who you are. You're not begging or trying to convince anybody of who you are except for yourself. See what I'm saying? The only limits we have are the limits we believe we have. And we get to decide what they are. Yay, tea and clips. Good. See what I'm saying? So you miss SB today. Okay. Right now, are you believing you're completely separate from SP? Do you believe you're connected to SP through consciousness? Do you? Generally, the next thing I hear is something along the lines of, I'm not even sure I believe in free will. I don't know if I believe that. I believe maybe they do have it. Well, then that's the experience you'll have, is evidence of it. But when you have finally accepted that they don't, you're going to see the evidence of they don't. Sincerely. You're probably just too attached to the 3D right now in this moment. And don't judge yourself. We've all been there. Have the cry, have the emotions, and return to your decision because everything's okay, really. And you're so powerful, you get to decide that everything's okay because everything is. Okay? RM, thank you very much. When SP religion is a circumstance, how to let go? So your SP's religion is the circumstance. How to let go? Reminding yourself of who the hell you are. There's nothing in the 3D, including your SP having a different set of beliefs than you. Let go of it. Well, by let go of it, you're not letting go of your manifestation. You're not letting go of your SP. Well, you're letting go of that version of your SP. You're choosing the version of them. I don't know what you want. Do you want them to convert to what you are? I think that you don't even have to put the pressure on yourself to need that to manifest. I think you just need, because love transcends. That's my point of saying that. Love transcends. So put the focus on being the you that's in that loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with them. Not the circumstance, not the religion. See what I mean? That doesn't mean you're going to be instantly convinced of that. That doesn't mean you're going to instantly feel comfortable in that. But that does mean you can choose to be the version of yourself that feels safe and secure, that manifestation is working for you. What would it feel like if SP showed up today and said, I don't care. I don't care what religions are in the way. I want to be with you. How would that feel? Allow yourself to feel that, right? Feeling safe, secure, feeling, as we talked about earlier, relief. And it's not about, I have to fake conjure up these feelings for this to manifest. No. Stepping into those feelings is allowing you to step into that self. It's like a tool. It really is. It's what you're aware of that matters. Don't be afraid of the feelings. Meaning if you can't feel contentment, that's okay. That's okay. Doesn't mean we're adding time to your manifestation. Think bigger. Think bigger. There are infinite you, infinite them, infinite realities. Religion isn't the issue. logical thinking about the religion is the issue. See what I mean? So let me say this. Let's say right now you see you two, let's say you're not together. And the reason why you're not together, because SP said, well, we have different religions, this isn't going to work. So you're seeing that religion as the obstacle, when really, if you listen, the obstacle is you have a belief of not chosen, which usually always boils down to the not good enough. It's really not the religion. It's just that's how that manifested. That's how that belief manifested. Get out of the logic. Get out of the literal thinking. Whatever anyone is experiencing with their specific person, the exact circumstance really isn't the problem. The circumstance is just telling you what belief. So when you're facing a circumstance like SP and religion, you ask yourself, how does that make you feel? Well, it makes me feel like they're not going to choose me because we don't have the same religion, Kim. Okay, not chosen is the thing we need to ditch. So then the focus should go on being the version of yourself that is more than aware that you are more than enough for love, and that religion can't get in the way of it, because love transcends all, because it does transcend all. Focus on being the version of you that is chosen. See what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Yes, the 3D is a tool of feedback. 100%. Yeah, he basically said that today. Okay. So you see, that's how that manifested. The not chosen, the AKA not good enough belief was at play. So when you heard him say that to you, you perceived it as, oh my God, I'm not good enough. He's not going to choose me because the religion is the problem. It made you feel not chosen. It made you feel not good enough, right? So that's the belief. So you focus on being the opposite of that, right? You're chosen. You're more than enough. You're more than enough to have a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with no obstacles between you and your specific person. What is important? That because he voiced that to you, that the religion's the issue, we don't want to start a story with him. So when you think about him, and if your mind is going, yeah, he said the religion's a problem. He said that today, religion's a problem. No, that's not his true form either. That's not his true self. His true self is unconditional love too. Right now, you're aware of him, right? You're aware of him as a version that's not choosing. So let's not start a story that that's who he really is. His real self is unconditional love. Okay? That's why we say it matters what we believe about specific person. That's why. Okay? That's right, Brittany Brooks. The dog agrees. That's right. That's right. All right. I have literally 7 minutes. So I'm going to answer one more and then I need to go. One moment. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. See ya. Thank you very much. Can I delete, forget a traumatizing memory? My boyfriend's home and that's why she's acting this way because she's very excited. She loves him. Can I delete, forget a traumatizing memory from the past that has been bothering me, apparently, with the help of revision? Of course. Of course. Listen, in the 3D world, when we use that word trauma, when we believe we personally have experienced trauma, okay? I'm saying me too. I have had experiences that we could label as traumatic, right? In the 3D world, trauma experiences are treated like, oof, now you've got that baggage. You've had a traumatic experience. Now our brain is going to be all amuck because we've had trauma. That trauma is going to get in the way of our manifestations. No, it won't. You are above any experience you ever had. Remember who you really are. Who you really are is God consciousness, universe consciousness, whatever you believe in specifically. That's who you really are. The experiences you've had, okay, in life have been based on the conditioning that came after the fact. Do you see what I'm saying? So God consciousness, if for a diagram, is up here above all. Underneath, so sitting down here, are the limits and conditions and the beliefs that we've taken on this human journey. But you've got the power of God consciousness as your true form. So those traumas don't have to be a part of the baggage you're carrying around in your identity anymore. And yes, through revision is one way we can let them go. We can also let them go with a conscious decision that they are no longer affecting you, that you are a new self who doesn't have that on their shoulders anymore. It's just which one works best for you. So 100% you can. And again, I know that some people really resonate with their trauma from the place of they believe the traumatic event is, shaped them into a different person. They don't want to lose that. You don't have to. You don't have to. But for those of you who don't want that and would like the traumatic experience out of the picture, it is possible for you. 100% possible. We do not have to be limited by anything. Okay? All right, so on that note, I do have to go. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Advanced Manifestors. I'll see you all at 8 o'clock. I'll post a link up later. Exclusive Lives membership. I'll post a link up later. But the Advanced Manifestors, I'll see you in both groups because you have access to all the groups. I hope you all did your reading, Advanced Manifestors, because I have a plethora of things to talk about tonight in group. Anyway, all right. I love you all. I'll see you all tomorrow.